I'm starting off this painting using gouache in a similar way to watercolor, so very watered down. On the page, I've already sketched out the elements, so I've got like this cat, I've got a couple roses, and I've got this finger with a flame coming out of it. But I don't end up painting the roses, spoiler alert. I end up erasing those and painting something else, and I'm so happy that I end up doing that. I wanted the spread to have a cohesive colour story, but I also wanted to use a couple of new colours from the C.R.E.A.M palette as well. So I'm making sure to tie in colours from the right, the portrait on the right, and I use a lot of those colours on the left, but I also like this colour I'm about to lay down here. This like murky, I want to call it a vom green. It's real vom green to me. And I love vom green. I'm a big fan of vom green. This colour I didn't use on the right, but I knew that I could introduce a few new colours into this side of the page and it's still going to look cohesive, so it doesn't have to exactly match. So this cat here is actually the breed of this cat that I'm drawing it's a photo I found on Pinterest, and I found out that the breed is called a Selkirk Rex. And I actually met and played with and patted one of these kinds of cats at a cat cafe many years ago, and they have this woolly fur. So they kind of remind you of little like lambs. It's the cutest thing. Their fur's all woolly, and they have these sort of really short whiskers. I kind of thought something had happened to him, like his whiskers had been burnt off, so I was really sad. But I think it's kind of a thing with their breed. But this cat was so... I wish I adopted him. We couldn't adopt another cat at the time, but I wish I did. He was gorgeous. And I really want one. I want one. They're gorgeous. Or at least the one I met. Beautiful personality and just so soft and cute and but I would have loved to get one like by adopting one. I don't think I'd ever buy a specific breed of cat. I just want to stumble upon one that I can adopt. So honestly, I'm not really sure what I'm doing with the colours yet. I am laying them down and I'm just kind of just vibing with the process, you know. I'm making sure that I'm using, I'm using pinks and I'm using blues like are on the right hand side of the page, but they're not exactly in the same intensity or the same saturation because I know I want this cat to be more pastel. So these colours are going to be the shadow tones for what I will paint the fur over the top of. So I know that they don't have to be like perfect. I can layer them and I can layer this process for as long as it takes for me to like the outcome. So I think that's one of the reasons why painting animals is so fun, and I need to do it more, is because you can really get quite creative with the fur colours. So I'm starting to use a bit of a thicker paint because I know that I want this glow effect around the cat. As you can probably tell from the opposite page and the preview of this sketchbook spread at the start of this video, I love colour. I love colour. It's one of my favourite things in the whole world. I can't stay away from it. And I really love using it to achieve these glow effects. It's something that's really permeating my art at the moment. I can't seem to stop. I really want to practice it more and keep experimenting with it. And I'm pretty much bringing it into all of my paintings. I went into the background because it sort of gives my mind a break. When I'm painting, I move around a piece. I don't just work on one area and finish it and then move on to the next. I get impatient, and B, I like the harmony that it brings because I can work the same color throughout the piece in different areas, and I can also work all the values up at the same time because values are relative. So I can see like holistically what needs to be darkened, what needs to be lightened as I go. So these eyes, they look so derpy. They look so derpy, but I love them. They're so cute. I knew to trust the process, so I wasn't too worried. I think that might be a thing. If you're a beginner artist, you know, you've painted some eyes that look like that, and you're going, what the hell have I done? What kind of ungodly creation have I just created? But you have to trust the process and know that you're gonna be able to make them look. That's just the start of the process of the eyeball, and adding more of the detail on top is gonna fix everything and bring the eyes to life. But in saying that, I really love his little expression. I love how intense it is. Like he's really staring. And that's kind of what the reference photo was like, and I think that's why I was drawn to it. I really liked he's just this cute little fluff ball, but he's determined. I like that. Oh, don't you just love adding those whites for the reflections in the eyes? Oh. So now I'm starting to go in with the more opaque paint, and I was using, I pretty much always go in with like a slightly off-white, and I will leave white until the end if I use it at all, like bright white. So I'll always dull my white down a little bit with another color or with gray, or because I always want space at the end to really have that final pop of white if I need it. So I'm going in and I'm using that thicker paint and using that texture to create that fur-like texture on top of those base shadows on this little kitty. So some of my strokes are quite thick and opaque. Some of them are a little bit more watered down, and it sort of enables the background colors on the cat to show through in some spots, be covered in some spots. It just, yeah, it gives the fur interest, and you don't have to paint this fur texture over the top of the whole cat. So you don't have to go in and completely render fur. I think it actually gives more of a believable look if you leave some areas with a bit less detail and then some with this fur painted in, which brings it forward and acts as somewhere where your eye looks in an area of interest. So around, I wasn't really sure what I was doing for these background, like decorative this background decorative element behind the cat. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it. I didn't know if I wanted to completely fill it in with pink, or I wasn't exactly sure, and I was gonna figure it out along the way. So I just started by outlining it, but I didn't really do a very like neat job because I thought, oh, I'll probably come back in and fill it in later with pink, but I didn't end up wanting to do that. So I got out my trusty white acrylic paint, and I'm just going in and erasing the little messy bits just so I have it nice and neat. So for this next painting, I was getting quite tired, so I wanted to do something a little bit quicker, and I was definitely rushing through the process a lot more than the other two pieces, which I was really being, you know, taking my time and really enjoying the process. This one, I was just, yeah, I just wanted to get it done, you know? So I was initially going to paint the finger in more realistically, like the other elements on the page. And I think that would have worked really well. That would have been quite nice. But as you will see in a moment, I end up just going in and making it more of like a graphic line art kind of style. And I'm actually really happy that I did. So sometimes, you know, you're tired, your lazy choices that you make when you're tired can pay off. I really like the graphic element in contrast to the more rendered parts of the page. And it's something that I think I will be experimenting with in other sketchbook spreads, maybe even other canvas paintings in the future. That could be kind of cool. I don't know, it's just something I'm going to play with, so I'm glad my laziness paid off. Okay, so I watched a couple of colored pencil YouTube videos in the last few days. So I was absolutely itching to get my hands stuck into them, which is quite unusual for me because honestly, colored pencils are not, I'm not really very interested in them. They've never been my thing. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. They don't usually grab my attention. But I really just felt like picking them up and having a go. So that surprised me and I thought, why not? Try something new. So my pencil collection is really small. I mostly have a few left from this Prismacolor set that I got when I was like 13. So that was a very long time ago. And all the leads inside them are broken, but I'm still trying to use them up. As I said, I don't use colored pencils that much, so when I need to use them, I try to make it work. And I've got a few singles that I've picked up over the years when I was more into trying out lots of new art supplies and different mixed media stuff. But I gotta say, I am so tempted to buy myself a set of pencils now, and that surprises me so much. Never been a pencil girly, but before I do that, I want to make sure that I'm going to use them. So this is why I wanted to do this little drawing with the pencils I already have, and I'm going to use them in my sketchbook more just to see if I really need them or if it's just a little passing whim. So firstly, look, I just need to say, could I be any more obsessed with that fluoro orange or just fluoro orange in general now? I'm floored. I'm floored by it. And I really want to start using it more in my paintings. I use a lot of purple in my paintings. Purple is one of my favorite colors and I use it a lot. And orange is that complementary to purple. So I don't really know why I haven't been using it that much. But that's all changing now. I'm obsessed. The way it looks next to that violet in the background, it's just, I love it. I love it. I was going to do the background behind the berry all black, but then I thought it might be interesting to sort of have complementary colors of each side of the berry and have that fading into black. So it might make the berry pop even more. That's what I was thinking of experimenting with. That was my theory. And I think it worked quite well. I didn't have the exact colored pencils, so on that left side of the berry, it's, you know, it's kind of that magenta-y, reddy, purpley, pink color. So I used green. I used a really dark green. That's the best dark complementary color pencil that I had. But I think it worked, and I think, you know, you get the vibe from it. And when I do, or if I do buy more colored pencils, I'll be able to experiment with that idea more and perhaps more effectively. Oh, I really love this idea too. For these like decorative elements, I'm quite obsessed with these. I need to look up what filigree. I'm pretty sure they're called filigree. That kind of filigree design, I really love it. I think it's beautiful. I'm always visually drawn to it. And when I thought of adding it, like making the stem of the raspberry turn into filigree, I was like, this is genius. And I think it's really cool. And something that I'd like to play with more. Oh, so I'm going in with the finishing touches now to this page, and I'm so glad that I left the inside of that other filigree behind the cat white, so I could go in with a bit of pink, fluoro pink and fluoro orange pencil, because the way that that pops just makes my eyeballs so happy. The blue glow of the cat, and then that glow behind it. Maybe for some people, it'd be like a bit much, you know, people are like, maybe tone down the color, you know, but not me. Not me. So, for finishing touches, I just, my motto is go big or go home, you know? So I busted out my alcohol inks, and I ended up making a bit of a mess over that neck of the girl on the right-hand side of the page. It happened before I realized what happened. So I got all these dots on her neck, and I thought, you know what? Let's go with it. So I ended up adding some alcohol ink onto her side of the page and use some liquid acrylic here, this fluoro orange color. It can be really terrifying to add all these final details at the end of hours of painting, because, you know, there's potential to ruin everything that you really like. But I'm pretty much always glad that I do, because it usually brings together the spread or the piece and really brings it to life. And you can't be afraid to risk it. You gotta risk it all. That's life, you know?
Come
I wanted to pop in before I finish the video to make a little announcement, because I've decided that I'm going to do Vlogmas this year, or a version of Vlogmas. I might not post a video every day, but I was thinking of a video every second day. So from the 1st of December to the 20th, I'm gonna post a video every second day. I'm gonna be making art, obviously. Working in my sketchbook, finishing some paintings that I want to get finished before the end of the year, and yeah, just probably doing some more like daily life vloggy stuff thrown in there. I don't know. But they're going to be very chill videos. I really feel like it's going to be very fun to join Vlogmas and give it a go. I know it's going to be a lot of work, but I think it's going to be fun. So thank you so much for watching this video, and like, comment, subscribe. Okay, I'll see you on the 1st of December. Bye.